All the world's languages have evolved over the centuries. This change is inevitable and goes hand in hand with the ever changing society. Languages are nothing but a reflection of the progress human beings make, as language adapts and changes along with them. A recent example of the change that languages undergo to adapt to new lifestyles and needs of human beings is that of inclusive language for non binary people. We define non binary all the people who do not identify with the gender binarism of women and men. We can make a distinction between gender and biological sex. Biological sex is based on a variety of factors: genetic inheritance, reproductive organs, and hormonal picture. Based on these criteria observed at birth, children are assigned a female or male sex. The term gender identity is used to refer to a gender, male, female, or non-binary, with which somebody identifies and to which they feel they belong, regardless of their biological sex. Gender identity is not a binary system, but a spectrum. At the ends are the female and male genders, and in between are many different facets. Gender identity has infinite ways of manifesting itself, and is very subjective. Over the years, an inclusive language has developed around this social group to validate their neutrality. Although the gender identity debate seems very topical and new, non-binary people are by no means a whim of modern times. Figures beyond the gender binarism have always existed in multiple cultures. These individuals often have visible and socially recognizable positions within their societies, as they are more balanced and in touch with all the aspects of their identity. This is the case of the native to spirit, people who embody both the female and male spirit. In ancient Greece, there was the cult of Hermaphroditus, god of androgyny, represented as a female figure with male attributes. In Indian culture, the Isra community has existed for centuries. It's made of a multitude of non-binary identities that have been legally recognized since 2014 as a third gender by the Indian Supreme Court. Jewish law recognizes gender non-conforming identities in addition to male and female ones. There are 6 identified genders, defined according to the development and manifestation of sexual characters at birth and in life. In Native Hawaiian and Tahitian cultures, the term mahu means in the middle and symbolizes a person who embodies, in one singular body, both the spirits of Kane and Washine. Closer to us, the Feminiello is a typical figure in traditional Neapolitan popular culture. It represents a very peculiar cultural and social identity, historically anchored in the Neapolitan urban fabric. Languages are the means by which there can be a continuous and constructive exchange between different and distant cultures and populations. Language is the mirror of society we live in. It perfectly reflects all the rules that govern it. We can observe how, grammatically, exactly as in society, the feminine is always subordinate to the masculine, nor is it difficult to notice the lack of neutral terms, both because structurally many languages do not provide for them, and because gender identity outside of the male and female binarism are not considered. This language is not only found in everyday life, but is also present in many official sources, such as dictionaries, manuals, or books. If we look up the definition of the word woman in various dictionaries, we can see how she's portrayed as being completely dependent on the man, defined according to her relationship with the latter. It is also important to mention the overextended masculine, a grammatical custom of using the masculine form to refer to a heterogeneous group of people, or to positions and professions, even if they are held by women. It is possible to observe some tricks to make our way of expressing ourselves more inclusive, such as always using the feminine when referring to a woman, enunciating the term in both the feminine and the masculine form, or obscuring both genders by using neutral terminology. In many cases, however, it is complex to use these strategies. The need and lack of neutral terms is a common issue both for female and non-binary people. There are also ploys to make the Italian language more neutral. One can use expressions that do not imply any gender, such as person instead of man or woman. In writing, one can replace gender desinences with symbols such as the asterisk, the X, or the schwa. The introduction of something new into the language is a big change that takes time to be accepted. However, it is important to remember that inclusive language is by no means an obligation, but an experiment that responds to society's new demands for inclusiveness. The argument of language neutrality is common to all languages. In English, it is very simple, as its grammar does not decline according to gender. The use of they them as a neutral pronoun is the most popular alternative to she her and he him. Spanish has also recently introduced a new gender-neutral pronoun, ella. Similar to the latter, there is the Portuguese elu. In Japanese, words are neutral, and there are many pronouns, depending on one's role in society. It is very common for the biggest part of the society to use the neutral ones. In this case, non-binary people result automatically included. In Chinese, male and female pronouns are pronounced the same way, ta. A new spelling, pronounced in the same way, has been found as a neutral pronoun. Despite the reticence of many people to adopt new inclusive and neutral language forms, more and more institutions are accepting them as standard language for their communications. We don't know what the developments of neutral and inclusive language will be, or which experience will be adopted and which discarded. Only in time will discover what the fate will be for non-binary people.